So what's so cool about these circuit bend instruments is they are truly random, but they're electronic instruments. I mean, you could never perform with one of these things. They freak out, you know, they just go crazy. But for sort of sampling material, they're astonishing. I mean, they're just like this plethora of sound, you know? So you never know what they're going to do, and different combinations of different, you know, bend points will make it do completely different things. So that's something that definitely is outside. It's just, there's not a way to sort of create that, and it's so much fun. If you guys want to see a really funny picture, you can go to my website. I think it's still up. There's a picture of me in my kitchen with the rule in my house now is if the toy falls, it's dad's, right? So there's a picture of a keyboard that used to be Kaya's, and me and just wires all over the place in the kitchen drinking Jamba Juice. It's pretty funny with me with a soldering iron. And another side note, which is really funny, is Kaya's growing up thinking it's normal to have, you know, variable resistors on your speaking bells. Pretty funny. Anybody else? Right here.
Riley?
Yeah. Huh? Damn, Troy's smacking me down. What happened? Okay, can we do like two more?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there? Everybody's waiting.
It's 10.
It is? Okay, cool. We'll do like 2-3 more, and we'll go fast. Right here.
With your circuit bending, how much of circuit bending stuff did you use for the composition of this, if any?
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. There's, and in fact, I will take it back a little bit. I am going to use some circuit bend instruments when we perform this record live. I had I built an instrument that we've affectionately named the tricello. That used to be a lap dulcimer, and we've resaddled with with saddles that sort of accommodate, you know, they're arched. So we've got, I put the lowest two viola strings and a cello string on it, and then I circuit bent one of Kai's toy megaphones, and then a friend of mine housed it into the body of it, and it's now played with a bow standing, and it's just a beautiful sounding instrument. You can hear it at the beginning of the Antikythera mechanism and the beginning of 1.618. So I'm going to use that and a bunch of other really crazy things when we perform the record. Right here?
I was hoping you could talk about your background with mathematics and how it relates to music.
You know, I've just never been good at anything besides music and math. You know, that's sort of an ongoing joke, you know, amongst my friends and family is that, you know, I can't spell, I can't grocery shop, I can barely walk unassisted, but like, you know, non-Euclidean geometry, 7 a.m., dude, I'm ready to go. Right? It's like, I don't know, it's, you know, something else too, those of you in the room that are musicians, something I like saying to groups of people, because it sounds like a pretty shocking concept, but it's true. All of us, I mean, musicians are mathematicians. Music is expressed mathematics, that's all it is. And so you could be, numbers can freak you out, but if you make music, you're a mathematician, you know? So I've been interested in it since I was a kid, man. It's one of those things, like looking at numbers is the same thing for me as listening. It's just, I see real beauty in numbers.
So,
you know?
Are you self-taught as far as mathematics go? Or?
No. I mean, I studied, you know, through pretty high-level calculus as a teenager, and then they didn't have math at the school that I went to. I went to Berklee School of Music in Boston, so
yeah, that's what I was asking.
yeah. Or if they did, well, Troy would know. If they did, I wasn't lucky enough to take it, but so right here.
Will the drum software that you mentioned be available, and do you need a beta tester?
I like that question. On the beta tester thing, yes, probably. And on the will it be available, yes, definitely. It's going to come out early next year, so we're right now working on our GUIs and stuff. The GUIs are going to be so cool. It's going to be the first animated GUIs ever in a plugin. So the GUIs are actually reacting to what's happening sonically in the plugin. They're going to look like Minority Report. They're going to be so cool. Okay, I'll take 2 more quick ones right here.
You said that you're going to be performing this live somewhere.
Yeah.
When, where, and where do you
I'm going to be doing, anybody here that a bunch of people said to me before in coming in here, like, oh, we'd seen the show in, like, you know, 95 or 97, like stuff going back a ways. Anybody that saw the shows I was doing then, which was me with a barrage of synthesizers and drum machines and all that kind of thing, I'm going to be doing shows exactly like that, where I play all my songs from all my records, everything like Flaming June and Godspeed and Dreaming and Never Gonna Come Back Down and you know, Somnambulist, all that stuff. And at the beginning of the show, I'm going to play 2 songs from this binary universe, and at the end, I'm going to play 2 songs from this binary universe. And I'm going to change up every night. And we're going to do that for around a month, and that's going to start mid-October. And then after that, at the very end of that, we're going to do a 2-week run of art galleries and classical concert halls where it's completely sit down, and we do these 3-hour-long, think if Fish was an electronic band sort of thing, protracted, insane, you know, psychedelic jam sessions. So, that's going to be really, really fun to do. I just can't wait to do that. That's going to happen in probably late November. So, but you guys can check my MySpace page or my website, and I'll say that on there. Right here, dude.
I like how the first visuals, it was so overwhelming that it kind of created imagery that wasn't there. I'm assuming it wasn't there.
No, it's cool. A bunch of people have said that.
What about that?
You know, that kid Monty that did that piece, he's like the star. He's the only non-professional animator, if you will, that did a piece on this record. Everybody, like Scott Pagano, the guy that did 1.618, is one of the primary visual effects coordinators for X-Men and you know, Spider-Man and stuff like that. So Monty's like, he was like, holy crap, he's freaking out, you know? And but he showed up with the goods, man. He really understood the piece, and basically what he did was he built you know, he built an algorithm for treating this sort of matrix thing that's kind of this fractal sort of you know, composition, and the way it's being animated is by bandpass filtering the entire audio spectrum, each channel, all 6 channels, and then that audio spectra operating on the visual in a certain way. So one of the coolest things about that piece is after you watch it a couple times, you start figuring out what sounds are affecting things and how they're affecting them. That's really clever what he's done. And even now, sitting here and having watched this literally thousands of times, I start to see new things and new ways that the audio information is affecting the visuals. So it's a really clever piece. I'm going to take one more right here.
Regarding Simply Being Loved, that set a world record for most out of the song on your lead vocal, 6,178. Any of these pieces
Who
here?
remembers that? What's that?
Any of these new pieces in the Binary Universe set a new world record?
They-
Most out of the song.
Plenty, but I'm not sure anybody will care about other than me. So, I don't know, it's cool, you know, I mean, we got approached to the thing you're talking about, you know, Guinness Book of World Records approached me and said, you know, they heard the song that I did with Justin Timberlake and JC Pop for NSYNC's the last record they did, and they said, this shit has so many edits in it, what did you do this? And then they heard Somnambulist, and they were like, this has to set some kind of record, you should go through and add up the edits, and so I went and added them up, and that became a huge project, but yeah, I'm sure we could find a couple things on this for sure. So,
Real quick, one last question. Was there a spiritual influence on this record for you?
there's a spiritual influence in everything that I do, and it's a big part of my motivation as an artist, and yeah, it's always there. It's in everything I do. So it's a cool question. I appreciate that, and I really appreciate you guys being here. Oh, you're the one. Were you on the phone? Yeah. You like totally spun out.
Yeah, it's like I thought it was one of my friends who was here.
Oh, did you?